Every 67 seconds, a brand new Toyota Tundra or Sequoia rolls off the assembly line in San Antonio, Texas. For the first time ever, we get to show you how these trucks are made from a raw sheet of metal to a running and driving vehicle. When a lot of people think about Toyota trucks, they think they're all made in Japan. What most people in the US do not realize is that a lot of these trucks are built right here in the US at Toyota Motor Manufacturing Texas, also known as Toyota Texas. These vehicles are built by Americans for North America, and they build quite a few of them. Last year, they produced 202,050 Toyota Tundras and Sequoias. I'm so fascinated with the process in terms of how they're built. I've only seen photos and videos, so I never really understood how much went into building just a single vehicle. It really opened my eyes to how complex the process was when I had a chance to watch the Lexus GX 550 get built for the first time 2 years ago. This was at the Toyota Tahara plant outside of Nagoya in Japan. While we were in Japan, we learned that the sister plant to Tahara is located in the heart of Texas. This is where Toyota builds their Tundras and Sequoias, so I reached out to the plant and I asked them if we could document the process, but my request was for even more exclusive access because in Japan, we did not have a chance to see the body get stamped or painted. Our tour on the assembly line started in the frame and body area. These vehicles start off as large rolls of flat steel that are cut by a supplier called Millennium Steel right next door on campus, and they're brought into the plant.
We receive it like this. At Millennium Steel, they get the giant rolls of steel, right? It gets uncoiled, leveled out, and then cut into these shapes using special dies, right?
And they show up like this.
They show up like this. Receive it and then do some receiving inspection. We'll do a dimensional check, or we'll check for burrs along the end, check for thickness. What these people are doing right here, they're repackaging that as they receive it from Millennium. We have to put them in a special pallet before it goes into the automatic line.
The frame starts off as these flat, pre-cut sheets of steel. Workers and robots mount them to a jig where they're all laser welded together.
So there's 8 different parts of the frame that is in this pre-positioning tape.
So then there's 4 because it's different frames, or?
It's a different mix of the parts. Some of them are unique to Sequoia, whereas most of it is common. Once this is all charged up, what you'll see is this device over here, which is called the leaf, the loading end effector. That device will come over here and pick up all of these blanks all at once. Once this device that's right there, that's called the magnetic fixture. That's where the magic happens. You can see the glow of the laser underneath there, right? So that is providing all the welds right now. It's welding it on a magnetic fixture, and once that charge is finished, it will deposit all those weldments onto a conveyor on the other side of the line and pick up a fresh set.
So how many frames are you able to make in a day?
900 to 1,000, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The body also starts off as a flat sheet of pre-cut metal that is subjected to extreme forces. Each panel is stamped with a giant machine.
Windshield is right here. A-pillar is here.
The body side.
That's the front door, rear door.
Got it.
The roof would go over that. The holes are cut out like that at the blanking line so that we can form it properly with this one piece side outer design.
Yeah. It's a flat Tundra right here.
This is the nose of the fender.
Right.
That's where it clips down to the rocker.
Dude, that is so cool. See, that's something I haven't seen before.
So you'll see a little bit of that in stamping. And then if you can imagine, before it looks like this, it's just a big roll of steel, right?
What's amazing to me really is how from raw materials, it really becomes a car here.
So these are the press dies that fabricate those. You can see on that press line, it's running right now, right? It has a set of one of these that are in the line right now producing it. This is the set of all the tooling that this line uses. This either side members or deck panels or hoods or roofs. Whatever is back.
It's all these.
Yes.
This is so neat. It's just so cool to see how they're building these vehicles here in Texas.
They're working on that die. That's a bedside trim die.
Oh, all of these. Oh, wow.
This is just a maintenance press here.
So these are the presses. And these are made in Japan.
Yes, this one originally was in California before it came here.
It's been in service for that long?
Yeah. All right, so you're in for a treat because we're running the bedside on this line right now. It's made out of aluminum. What you saw back there is steel. This is aluminum. So they're going to do what's called an automatic die change. So you can see these tracks. They'll start an automatic process, and these will roll out, and the next one will roll in.
You know, it makes me happy that you're still excited about this. I always tell a lot of people, you know, it may be a normal day for you, but it's such a special day for us, really. I mean, because my truck was made here.
Oh, you have one?
You know, yeah, I have a 2018.
Great.
It's supercharged, so it makes 500 wheel horsepower, but we're just nerds like that, you know?
Yeah.
We just appreciate it.
Yeah. They're die changing. Watch this. This was a bedside, and we're going into a door inner panel. To give you an idea how much these things weigh, right? Just this die alone, 25 tons. So it's clamping up this die, and it changed over the transfer tooling.
It really is amazing how much of it is automated.
Oh yeah. One of the press lines that I learned on in Japan a long time ago, this transfer was all by hand. Like this. So from now, the crane operators will start to break these dies down and lift them up and exchange for the next one.
What plant did you learn at in Japan then?
Takaoka. I went there I was already working in the States, but I had an opportunity to go there for training. And they had some older lines that were still hand transferred. It's about 1,000 tons.
Oh my God.
So what he's doing right now is confirming the centering of the crane before he lifts so he can make a nice straight lift. Feel the ground shaking?
Yeah, so it's like a mini earthquake. It's got to be such an insane foundation.
This is all obviously reinforced concrete. This part right here is a slab, whereas that part you can see right here is like a pit.
Okay.
Because about 1/3 of the machine is below floor level. So you remember me showing you this was where the windshield was, right? And the front door opening, remember that hole was only about that big. But after forming, that hole becomes a lot bigger because all that gets stretched out and formed this way, right? Same thing with the rear door. That rear door opening was only that big, but all that gets formed out that way.
So is this raw without coating or anything?
Correct. The metal has coating on it called galvanneal. It's called galvanneal coating, but that doesn't have the ED coating like you're thinking in paint.
I can't believe it. That's the whole side of a Sequoia. That is just so cool.
We then moved from the stamping area to the welding facility where the vehicle body started to take shape. All the pieces that we watched get stamped are put together here to make a complete body.
So they're doing a sample check for inspection there because they just started running this, right? But we also have automatic inspection like that inspection robot right there. Remember that flat sheet we saw? That's what this looks like now.
What does this mean? Last off panels?
So at the end of every run, we keep a sample panel so that the next time we get into it, we can compare it to the last run and make sure that we're not deviating.
So then what happens to this? Does it go?
It gets put in the pallet and used.
Oh, it does get used.
Yeah, we just recycle it.
Got it.
But just to give you an image about what you saw back there compared to
It turned into this.
That's right.
Amazing. This is crazy. There's so many bodies, all parts of bodies.
That's about
doors.
That's only about 1 day's worth of parts right there.
That's it.
Yeah.
And how much storage do you have? Like how many days worth of storage do you have?
Less than 1 day.
Well, because right when you build it, it needs to be used. Otherwise, it's a waste. Amazing. I can't believe that. Every single one of the steps to build a full vehicle really is just so special. And what really is amazing to me is we've been taking pictures of cars for over 20 years. I've never been able to see this in person. Being able to see how they actually make them from raw materials is just so special.
This is where stamping ends and weld begins. We call this frame body respot. So at this point, the body is already tacked in place. It finishes about maybe 400 more welds in this line. There's about 50 welding robots in here, and they all in unison, right?
That
So if
is
you
so
watch
cool.
long enough, you'll see the line advance, and then they'll restart again.
So will this robot stop for you or no?
Yeah, it's got area sensors on the front.
Got it.
Here, do you want me to demonstrate for you how this will stop?
Safety first. And it'll just go again?
Yeah.
Oh. And it keeps playing the music.
It's hard not to notice the robots driving around by themselves. This plant does not run without the help of automation, but most of it still needs a human touch.
So this is called underbody here, right? And at this point, it's 100% automated. There are no team members, except for those forklift drivers. No team members work from here, right? It's all fully automated. And then it goes into the main body from here. These sub-assemblies at the supplier, they still have team members unloading that, putting it into the machine.
It's difficult for you guys to hear the music playing on, but it's so funny to me that some of it is the same music and some of it is like American music that we grew up with.
This is the last line for weld. It lifts from here to go to paint. From down the end of that line, they queue up down this way, and then they turn around and go that way, all above us here. So there's about 40 bodies upstairs waiting to go into paint.
We then had to put on clean suits and go through a clean room area where it blew off as much of the dust off our clothes and bodies because we were going into the painting area.
So we basically start, quote unquote, washing the vehicle. We try to take off any oils, anything that's on the vehicle, because we want a clean surface. We just came back from lunch, so what happens during lunch is this area will strip out basically vehicles, so we don't leave them just there, right? So I'm hoping that you can see a vehicle going into that big swimming pool that we have. So
Okay.
It's 120,000 gallons. It's about half the size of an Olympic swimming pool.
Oh.
So you can see the vehicle basically get fully submerged, and that's where you really get the first coating of paint. On this side, we're cleaning the vehicle, preparing it for coating, and then it goes around a corner over there and it comes back. So you have vehicles going this way and this way. This is our electroplating process here. Basically prevents any corrosion on the metal surface. Here we create like a nanofilm in preparation for the electroplating. So this is as clean as the surface will be. You get as much of the oils and anything off of the vehicle. So all these parts basically go underwater, get all the air pockets out because we've coated inside out. All the cavities, as many as possible. So you'll see that vehicle basically disappear underwater.
Yeah, that is so cool.
So the vehicle, we can fit 3 vehicles in here, Tundras. I mean, these things are huge, right? So vehicles are basically underwater right now being plated.
So then you never actually have to change all of this out. You just keep adding to it?
Yeah. Basically, there's some times where we have to clean, so we'll transfer this to another tank, and then we go in and clean periodically every 6 months. So we do a lot of filtration here. There's a lot of filters.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of fans moving air.
So this is our primer line.
What is this doing right here?
Yeah, so this is what we call a cartridge machine. So it basically fills just the right amount of paint you need to paint the vehicle. So basically the robot will come and grab it. It's almost like a printer inkjet system where you grab it, takes it, paints it, brings it back. It's really efficient.
Oh, that is a full-on like suit that they have to wear.
Oh yeah. So they have ventilation because they're exposed to painting process, right? So we filter out the air. It actually keeps them cool too. It actually has a cooling system as well. So.
If you have a cool car to sell, check out Hagerty Marketplace. It's free to list your car,
You get dedicated support before, during, and after your auction. You get to keep 100% of the profits. Check out the link down below.
This is what we call our paint finish or finesse line. So basically the vehicle at the beginning goes through a inspection tunnel. Then it's scanned basically by cameras, and then that data is sent to these screens above them. It basically tells them where the defect is on the vehicle, if there's a defect, and then they go and repair. Because the team members, the human eye can only detect so much, or the repeatability of the team member's eye.
And then they manually polish it?
And they pallet, yep. So they'll take this basically tool, and they'll basically buff it out. And if it's a severe issue, then it has to go to offline for some repair. So this is one of our tape processes. So they install garnish on the vehicle doors. So there's 4 processes here where team members are installing, as I mentioned, this garnish on the doors. So the team members get the information from a screen up front, and they know what to build based off of that. Because some vehicles have tape, some don't.
That's cool that the fuel door is put there, so it's almost like you don't waste paint, huh?
Yeah. And we have these cool cords, called andons. So if there's an issue, they pull these. It alarms, someone comes and supports.
And that stops the line.
Yeah, this red one will stop it immediately. This yellow one, it'll come to a position and it'll stop. They'll get the information here. They'll know what to do to the vehicle.
Well, some of them you don't tape, or
yeah, it just depends on the spec of the vehicle. So these jigs you see here, they use those to kind of set the tape.
Oh yeah.
This is a high knack process. It really takes a lot of skill.
Meanwhile, if we were to do it, it would probably take an hour each side.
I'd say 2.
Yeah.
Be a little generous. The vehicle will move through this pitch for 58 seconds. So it only took them, 20 seconds to do the work. So each person will have some different things, right?
The entire operation is to ensure that the vehicle comes off the line in a little over a minute. All of this is just a coordinated orchestra of parts and just-in-time manufacturing, which is what Toyota is known for. This was designed to be as efficient and safe as possible, which in turn saves on costs. I then had a chance to catch up with Rob Franklin, who's Vice President of Administration and Group Manager of Production Control.
What is the general consensus in terms of the team members just being proud making these vehicles here in Texas?
I think that's been a cornerstone for Team MTX since our opening. From I guess a Toyota perspective, right? Nationally, we enjoy quite a good market share. From a truck perspective, the thinking way, even from the beginning, is we're going to sell a lot of these trucks in Texas. Let's build them here. So that's the reason why we're physically here. It goes back to that pride piece that you mentioned. Team members, I know, love to see something that they touched, that they built, that they ensured quality for that family driving down the road. That's one of maybe the first conversations that we have for you as a new team member, is understanding not only the importance of what you're doing, but as a whole, this vehicle is designed to be the safest on the road, and you're part of that team. The deck subassembly is completely separate from the cab. However, it's very unique in the fact that when the vehicles are ordered and the build is begun, both the cab and the bed are started at the same time, and they eventually marry over our head, come together, and they're together for the rest of the process. Maybe old way would be I'd build a bunch of cabs, I'd build a bunch of beds, and we'd put them together later. But really, that bed is assigned to a cab, and they'll stay together through the entire paint process and assembly build process. Pretty cool. So this is the deck side outer line. So we've got a side member left and side member right on the other hand, and easily distinguishable is the 5.5 foot bed, the 6.5 bed, and then the 8.1 bed. So the same team member that runs the deck outer process for each vehicle, he gets an indication up on the screen. You can see the next vehicle to build is 89, and it will indicate to him which bedside to choose for that vehicle. And same on side member right, and then this line will weld those together, and then it'll come out at the end on the same vehicle, on the same pallet. Right, so we make all the Tundra and the Sequoia front and rear bumpers here, right? So plastic injection molds here, so you can see on these racks, various colors. It doesn't seem to follow a pattern, but it's really built in sequence. So just as the customers ordered, the vehicles are built in that sequence, and we're painting in that exact same sequence. So we're not building thousands of red bumpers, thousands of white bumpers. We're doing them in sequence, minimizes the inventory just in time. So instrument panel is one item, right? So from a customer perspective, it's maybe one things that you look at every day, all the time on your vehicle, right? So we want to ensure best quality, best grain. So it's injection molded in-house. But maybe even more critical to the instrument panel is the airbag subassembly. So as you know, on the passenger side, right over the glove box, is where the passenger airbag would be. Just a critical process that we do at Texas is the welding of this very critical part.
Plastic welding.
Yeah, plastic welding into the injection molded resin to make sure it's a perfect fit and it functions 100% every time in the case you would ever need that. So that's a critical check that we do on every vehicle and every part that we make. So the placement of this must be very precise because under deployment, the doors would open and then it must be exactly aligned with the seam or the process part of the instrument panel itself. So that's kind of mission critical here for the IP group.
I was really excited to see where the vehicles actually get assembled. At this point, we were on the home stretch, as it's about halfway from becoming a running and driving truck. I caught up with Daniel Pena, who has a wealth of experience, having formerly led assembly as a senior manager. Today, he is currently on a team responsible for special projects at Toyota Texas.
So our final inspection line runs at 67 seconds right now.
That means a new vehicle gets made every 67 seconds.
Every 67 seconds, the truck drives off the line.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. So did you start on the line here then?
I started as a team member in plastics and then came out to assembly as a group leader. But this used to be my old line.
How long did you work on the line before you moved into management?
I got in early, like in the beginning when we first started. So I was a team member, team leader for about 2 years. And then I got promoted to group leader. And I was a group leader for about 8-9 years.
So you've been here for a long time then?
19 years, yeah.
Whoa. It seems like most of the people that we've been meeting have been here almost 2 decades.
Yeah. Yeah, we're coming up on our 20 years, and then pretty soon we'll be at our 25 years. So that's a big milestone for us, 25 years.
Do you ever get vertigo from riding on this thing? Like everything is moving?
No, it's not too bad. You get used to it. But here's our
Oh, that's cool.
installation.
Whoa. What's crazy to me is like that just takes like 20 seconds. But if you did that just at a workshop or whatever, it would take hours.
But it all comes together. It has a critical, what we call our critical parts patch. So everything has to be installed in a certain sequence in order for it to be built up correctly. And here you'll see our instrument panels coming across the wall.
So then if it doesn't go on right, then it just stops the entire line.
Yeah, team member will pull the end on, indicating there's a problem, and the team leader will come over, and depending on what is actually wrong, they'll stop the line, or they can repair it while it's moving.
Oh, got it. Because
Yeah.
there's still time potentially before it goes on to the next step.
So you can see like these rivets, if a team member needs a certain amount and needs to be able to easily pull them. So we created like different feeders, so you can just load in all your rivets and it'll self-align them. So now that they're all lined up for the team member, easy to use.
And a lot of this stuff, it wasn't a process until you folks developed it.
Yeah, the team members are actually do a lot of these Kaizens. So really we focus a lot on how to make the team members' job easier, and we empower them to say, hey, if I do this different, it'll make my job that much easier. So these Kaizens come from these guys.
Plus, if they improve on it, they can shorten their time with the vehicle as well.
Kaizen is a Japanese term meaning change for the better. It's a business philosophy and practice focused on continuous and incremental improvements to the processes, products, and services, aiming for greater efficiency and reduced waste. It's a big part of the Toyota way.
So here's our battery installation hoist. This is our 12-volt battery. But this one goes inside the cab because it's an HV.
Not every single one of these vehicles gets one of these because not everyone is hybrid.
Yeah.
So then this station skips like a couple every now and again. See, it feels like you're in Japan with all these songs
Yeah,
playing. You know you're in a Toyota plant because you hear all these music going off, and
That's our end on music, yeah.
when the music plays, does it signify a certain thing's happening? or-
Yeah, and each line has their own music. So by the music, you know, hey, it's trim 1 or trim 2 calling for a request for help.
So hybrid system going in. It's just so much to take in. There's just so much going on. Oh, this is all headliners
This
right
is
here?
headliner install.
You know, when you think about it, it's insane. Like, how many components are in one of these cars?
Oh, there's quite a few. Last part number count, it was like right around 3,000.
3,000, and then individually those have so many components that come together
Yeah.
to make each one.
Yep, absolutely. After it's done here, you see them leaving. They go up onto the lifter. They get lifted and put on a carrier, and then they get sent over to our chassis and trim lines.
All those up there just came from the paint shop. They're all lined up. And are these going back to pick up more
Yep.
or?
Exactly.
Okay. So you've been here long enough where you've had a couple model changes. Like, is it emotional for you guys to have like the last one built of a certain vehicle?
It's a little sad that you've seen it go, especially when we built out the Tacoma. The Tacoma, we stopped building that model, so we weren't getting the next gen. So seeing the last one go through was a little sad, but you know, that's the business.
Somebody out there owns the last one.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And maybe they don't even know it.
Daniel wanted to give us a new sneak peek on a color that will eventually be available on the TRD Pro Tundra.
So was this built on the line here?
It was built during our 1A trials.
This is stunning.
TRD Pro.
What a crazy color, huh?
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it. It's so unique. It's so interesting to see a truck in this color. So then what is it like when, for example, something like this, it goes down the line, it just stands out?
Every team member was distracted, turning around, wanted to see it. Something you don't want, right? You don't want them to be distracted, but it just stood out so much, and it pops, the color.
That's so cool. With changing something like this, it's just programming it in on the paint side,
Yeah,
I'm assuming?
they run their own trials. You got to paint a couple of vehicles, make sure they get the tone and the color right, and the coverage is key for them. And then for us, this is actually not a big change point for us. There's a couple of small changes that we did, like options on the vehicle, so it was really easy for us from an assembly implementation. It was more paint shop probably had a bigger impact.
That's super cool. So then, is this a pre-production model?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So we actually keep the trial vehicles in order to do training with them. I think we're keeping this one and a Sequoia, and we'll utilize it for the next model that's coming up. They'll say, hey, there's this change point coming. We need to do something different. So we'll get those parts and be able to evaluate them on a vehicle.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. That's useful.
And then it's just cool to drive it here in sight.
Yeah, of course. That's super cool.
But this is our engine's installation.
Oh, I love that it just comes out from the sky. So right now, you guys are just installing one engine.
Technically, there's two variations of the engine, the hybrid and non-hybrid, but they're both 3.5 turbo V6.
Understood. When Tacoma was here, it was a couple different engines.
Yes. We had a big V8, the 5.7, the small V8, the 4.6, then we had the V6, and then there was a 4-cylinder.
And it didn't really matter, just whatever engine was needed for the chassis, it would just come down from the sky.
Yeah. Great way to put it from the sky.
What's
yeah.
amazing to me is there's an entire other plant that just makes these engines, because they come to you looking like this pretty much.
Alabama does the engine itself, but we have an engine line that does all the accessories and marries the transmission and transfer case. So we still do a lot of work to the engine. We'll go down a frame, and then we'll get to where it comes together, our cab-dick marriage.
It's doing it upside down.
Yep.
I noticed what's really neat about this is it compresses the suspension first
Yes.
to align it.
It has to be done at right height.
Yeah.
So it compresses it.
That is really neat. That is crazy. It just flipped the whole thing upside down.
Yeah. Well, it flipped it right side up.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming it's upside down at first because it's easier to install components.
Absolutely. We do fuel tank, exhaust, suspension.
And then somewhere down the line right here, it has to flip the other way to install the other components.
To install the engine and the remainder
Got
of the
it.
brake tubes, fuel lines. So these skillets actually shift up and down. You can see the different stop positions on it.
Right.
And when we flip it, it puts it in the correct orientation.
Whoa, that's cool. The spare just rides there.
Yeah.
So then later down the line, it gets installed.
Yep. Once it gets flipped to frame 2 condition, we install the actual carrier and then put it into final position.
Oh, this is the gas tank.
Yeah, fuel tank install.
So then, is there any gas in the tank?
Right now, no. We put gas, I think it's like 2.5 or 5 gallons, depending on destination, on our final inspection line.
So right now it's completely empty.
Completely empty.
That's so interesting. It's like uses air suction to install it or to move it. So guys picking up the gas tank right now, has the heat shield on it and everything already. Just like that. Easy.
Here's our front suspension installation.
Oh, what?
You can see them coming from the overhead up there.
Yeah.
A big moment for any body-on-frame vehicle is when the frame gets married to the body for the first time. It's a match made in heaven.
So the frame's complete. The body's coming from trim side, gets married, and then from here it'll go to final 2.5.
This is pretty much like one of the biggest moments when the frame meets the body for the first time.
Yeah.
So this individual is doing it manually.
Yes, he's controlling the up and down.
And why is it that it's like this versus automated for the Tahara factory?
So Tahara builds SUV only. So it's an entire body. We have the deck and the carrier on separate carriers up here. So it's very hard to align it.
Hence, I just watched him push it for a little bit and it all dropped.
Yeah.
Dang, this is crazy. We're currently above everybody else. Now this is the full-on car, already married together and everything, just getting moved around on these cranes. This is super cool. They come down here on the crane, already married to the chassis, but with no doors, and they go down to the line, and then they come back on this line, and they have doors. But you could see over there, the doors are on another dolly going to that line so they can install them.
What really amazed me was how quick and simple each process looked, whether it was installing a seat or a dashboard. I know if I just had to install one seat, it would probably take about an hour, just so I didn't damage any other part of the car. But because they have it down to such a science, they can potentially install 1,000 seats per day.
It's a similar thing. You see the seats coming up from the overhead. They'll drop down our elevator. The team member will pick it with the hoist to install. It goes back up and across the way to the others, to the right-hand side install.
Here's all the tools for this area, that potentially they need.
Yeah, so if it's not there, that means that they're in use right now.
Hopefully this one doesn't get used that much.
No.
Oh, this is where the door goes on.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, you can see the doors are on already, seats, interior is done. Final line does a lot of the finishing exterior work. So we'll go to bumper installation so you guys can see the install of the bumper, rear bumper, over fenders. So this team member along with another team member actually grabbed the whole assembly and installed it onto the vehicle.
It's insane. I can't believe how fast they can install a bumper. It's literally seconds.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is that all this time, these were matched together and they were painted separately, same color.
Yeah.
And finally they get put together right here after all this time. So then after this is just a running and driving car. Does it start up right away? Like you just push the start button and it just starts up right away?
99.9% of the time, yeah. So this is the point where they first started. See the people with a gray hard hat with the gray caps? They're the quality people, quality inspection. So they're the ones that are certified to get in, drive the vehicle off, and take it to the next location.
How many miles do they get driven or tested at all before they get delivered?
Not many. Like you get them at the dealer with like 2-3 miles.
So do they even do a 2-3 mile loop here or a 1 mile loop?
Well, we'll take it to VP and in vehicle performance, they'll do some more testing, and then they'll drive them to TLS. TLS is about a quarter mile, half mile out.
And that's it, just to make sure it drives.
That's it, yeah. Then we do have our test track where only a small quantity of vehicles, sampling of vehicles get tested on the test track. It's not every vehicle, but he's fixing to turn it on. There it is, it's on.
Adjusted the seat, adjusted the mirrors, checked the brakes. Horn works. He even pointed forward where he was going.
All right, jump on in.
All right.
Hop in.
The payoff for me was getting to ride in one of the vehicles as it rolled off the assembly line. It makes me happy that there are still so many passionate individuals building these vehicles that we love so much. Growing up, I loved watching these TV shows on how crayons or toys or how anything is made. Being at the Toyota plant in Texas definitely made me feel like a kid again.